And welcome back to the Pulse. Now, a group of aggrieved pilgrims are protesting against a decision by the Pilgrimage Affairs Office of Ghana to impose further charges on persons seeking to travel to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this year's Islamic rituals. Now, according to the group, it will be unfair for the National Hajj Board to take an additional 7,000 Ghana cedis for travel arrangements when indeed the board promised to keep fares at some 19,500 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to some $3,500 due to the inability of prospective pilgrims to make their journeys over the past 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, Isa Ali speaks for that concerned group. So he's joining me in studio to actually explain the concern of the group to us. And he understands quite a lot that's happening even within some of the Muslim communities. So he would explain all of that to us here on the Pulse. Isa, it's a good time to be talking to you here on the Pulse. So let's first of all understand what goes into the travel arrangements for persons who make the travel to Mecca for your holy month, or I mean as part of your rituals, Islamic rituals. So what does it really, what's the process like, I mean, as it used to, going for the Hajj?
Yes, thank you very much, and also to you and your viewers. Yes, actually, we all know that going to Mecca or the pilgrimage or Hajj is part of one of the secret pillars of Islam, especially for those who can afford. If you cannot afford, it is not compulsory upon you to go to Hajj. And also, it is incumbent upon everybody performing Hajj to ensure that the monies that you are going to use, it must be pure. I mean, you cannot use inappropriate resources obtained from other illegitimate sources to embark on your Hajj. It's not acceptable. That's why at the national level, even global level, countries have taken keen interest into it. So it is in order that we have a national Hajj board in place where previous governments have been constituting the boards to effectively, organize Hajj to ensure that those previous sufferings don't take place. You know, some years back, pilgrimage have to go to the Hajj board, sleep there, sleepless night. Even people will have to travel from far away in the northern region, within the middle belt, to come to Accra. You know, they suffer a lot. So as part of those challenges, efforts were put in place to ensure that at least Ghanaian Muslims should have free Hajj. They should be able to perform the Hajj effectively. And in terms of what goes into it, we all know that the aspect of airfare in it, the aspect of accommodation, the aspect
and
of
that's
feedings,
where this whole challenge is coming up, particularly with the issue of the cost build-up. Initially, it was 19,500 Ghana cedis, right? That was over the past 2 years period. That was what the Hajj board was taking?
Yes. So
19,500.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but if you convert into dollars, you'll be getting some
3,500. Okay.
See, what we need to understand is that in the year 2020, there was this pandemic whereby Hajj was cancelled. But people have already deposited money into the Hajj board's account. So, knowing the challenges, it is not the doing of the pilgrimage or, the Ghanaians. It is a natural pandemic that happens. And interestingly, there was a communique which was signed, I think, on June 20th, 2021. It's available, which states that, that agreement, or let me use the word communique, has 4 clauses. Only 4 provisions, and which we know that within the Hajj sector, we have 3 main stakeholders in there. We have the Hajj board at one angle. We also have the Hajj agents, that is the agent associations, they are also there. Then we have citizens who have decided to pay directly to the Hajj board. So all these constitute, they are the key stakeholders in there. So if I want to pay, I can pay directly. So in this case, it has 4 clauses. And it was understood, it is clearly written that, okay, 1, if you pay directly and you need your money, you can just apply. The Hajj board will give you
back your funds.
Will refund the money to you. That was in 2020. And again, if you also made your deposit through the Hajj agents. As soon as you need your money, you can apply for it to be given to you. So that's the first two. And the last two also clearly state that if you have paid, but you're still interested, you want to perform Hajj in 2022, you are exempted from paying any other charges.
That was on record.
Oh yes, it's on record. You know, I just
you've come with the records.
I can read it to you.
Okay, so we'll try and as you work on that. This was the initial promise from the Hajj board.
Yes.
How come that they are asking for the extra 7,000? Do we know what's accounting for the variations?
Actually, the information available to us is that some taxes have been increased in the kingdoms, so they are also trying to take that measures. It's actually interesting because, one, there's an agreement in place. As a government agency or department or board, you have already assured those who have paid already. So I'm expecting that the new charges should apply to those who are interested, who want to perform Hajj this year, and they want to pay this year. But those who have paid already, you've already promised them that there is no need. They will not be paying any amount of money. But even when you look at the pandemic, actually, government has been able to document all the sectors that has been affected by COVID. So we expect that with the caliber of board members at the Hajj board, we expect that by now they should have taken all those measures.
Okay, so you're also making a new allegation about non-transparent, the non-transparent nature of the Hajj board. Is that what you're driving at?
It goes up. It's not only about the non-transparent, but I can see inefficiency in their operations. Because if you are operating actually as the chair of the Hajj board, we expect that at least you should have the foresight. There's a pandemic in place. You should know that definitely.
After 2 years, the money would depreciate. So possibly, right?
You are now coming with the aspect of depreciation.
Right. Okay.
Even though in Islam, it's not acceptable to go to Hajj with a proceed of, let's say, profit. If you deposit money, there's a interest accrued.
Oh, okay. So it's purely religious.
It's not that it's religious.
Right.
You are not acceptable. But others too are saying that why should you even keep the money as at that level? You understand me? And people pay the equivalent of the foreign currency. So are you saying that the foreign currency too is depreciating at what level? So what we are saying is this: since they have paid the money, has been deposited with the Hajj board, and you've assured them, because any leader, any board should be able to know that this year, if, for instance, there's a tax policy this year, definitely in the coming year, the government will change. This is known. So what happened? Is it that the board are not efficient? Is it not they've gone to sleep? Even look at the period. We now have 11 days to the first flight. That is the first flight flying from Tamale to the kingdom.
And that's due in how many days?
We are talking about 11 days now.
So that's quite close in terms of the number of days.
That's what we are saying. It will be unfair on the part of the Hajj board to refuse those who paid, who are supposed to perform their Hajj in 2020. You should allow them to go. So we are calling upon government at least to ensure that the right thing is done.
Have you made several attempts to reach out to the Hajj board? I'm sure this is supposed to be a government institution that will have people willing to listen to you, and they most of them also belong to your faith as well, so they understand what the requirements may be. Have several attempts been made to engage them?
Thank you. You see, there's one thing that we have been calling for: consultations. The key partner, or let me say the first line partner to the Hajj board, is the Hajj agents. I believe that if effective consultations has been done with the organized Hajj agent, they are organized. If you cannot reach those who pay directly, it's understandable. But the agreement that I was talking, the communique, was jointly signed between the Hajj board, which was represented by Honorable Sheikh Isikwe.
Okay, and the agents.
The agents.
So the agents signed on behalf of the pilgrims.
On behalf of the agents.
So a lot of pilgrims may not necessarily be aware of even what's going on now. Is there a possibility?
It's possible, but it's possible. But normally, as at this time, most of them majority are aware, because some of us, we even pay for others to perform the Hajj.
Right.
So definitely they are aware of these challenges, but it is going to increase their suffering. It is going to increase their budget, because the time is so short. And we believe that if consultations has been done in advance, this information has been shared earlier, it won't happen. But I don't even understand a board. I believe they have a legal advisor. Knowing that there's a signed communique, they will now turn their back to demand additional 7,000. How do you expect them to raise it? How? This is not fair. We believe that government has put all the necessary structures in place to alleviate all sectors facing challenges as a result of
because we need to go, you have just 11 days to do something, and not even the 11 days, because you have less than 11 days to try and effect the changes that you're calling for, the fact that the 7,000 Ghana cedis doesn't need to be charged. So from now till that deadline, what do you intend to do as those who are aggrieved? Are you taking any legal options? Is that possible? Is that also on the table?
Yeah, I know, as I stated earlier, we have different stakeholders in there.
This,
the Hajj associations have their, options, and also as citizens too, we also have our options. But we believe that, yes, this is part of awareness creation that we are doing to call the attention of government and also citizens to ensure that the right thing is done. We believe that, yes, government can do it. We believe that they can do the right thing by at least absorbing the additions. And it's not
all the 7,000?
Yes, the 7,000.
All the 7,000?
Yeah, we believe it's possible. Because it's not the doing of the pilgrimage, those who have paid. It is up to government to cough down money and pay.
All right then. Isa Ali, thank you for joining us. Now.